about to freeze. Keep dancing with my sanity.
This day started off a little bit later than usual, heading out shortly after midday. Plan is to go to Slipper Island to do some scouting for this upcoming weekend for the Northern Area Championship. We start the dive by ticking off a few reef species in the shallows before moving out deeper. Notice how I'm using the rock to conceal most of my body from the ledge that I'm looking over. After spending most of the afternoon in the shallows, we decide to move out a bit deeper to try and find a weed line. At this point we're probably a couple hundred metres offshore and about 20 metres of water. We're going to swim over a school of coheru, so I decide to take a drop. At this point in the dive I have stopped kicking entirely and have my eyes closed. I'm trying to use as little oxygen as possible and stay relaxed. Upon reaching the bottom I open my eyes and level out, greeted by a school of probably thousands of demoiselles. On the bottom I'm trying to stay low down and close to the kelp, not making myself too obvious. I also make a couple grunts to hopefully bring in any predators that are patrolling. When you're doing dives like this you have to be mindful of how deep you are. This means not taking unnecessary risks. After lifting off the bottom and beginning my ascent, I'm spotted by a school of very large kingfish. These two huge kingfish were extremely bold and swam straight up to me, allowing for pretty much the best shot I could have wanted at that point in time. While admittedly tempted to take the shot, it was against my better judgment and I decided to let it go. I've been diving for coming up on 7 years, and in all that time these are easily the biggest kingfish I've ever seen. You have to respect the power of a kingfish, especially one of this size.
You alright?
Bro, there are some big kingfish down there.
Yeah, I saw one swim over the top of you. Cool, go down.
Here we switch over to Charlie's perspective of how things went down. After my ascent, the kingfish had followed me up. We're now milling about 8 to 9 metres below the surface. Charlie takes a dive and meets them halfway. As the school moves in, he levels out, lines up, and takes a perfect stone shot on a very nice kingfish. After seeing Charlie take a shot, I decided to have a crack at it myself. These kingfish have still decided to stay in the area, haven't quite clued on to what's happening yet. I take a dive straight down and get to a depth where I'm neutrally buoyant before levelling out. This kingfish breaks off from the school and swims towards me. This fish was much smaller than the monsters I'd seen earlier, but still a respectable size nonetheless. I line up and take my shot, hitting the kingfish centre body just above the spine, missing it by mere millimetres. The fight is on and I apply constant pressure through my reel line, all the way to the surface and throughout the next 5 minutes. I finally get the fish into my hands and I can get a true appreciation for the size of it, but it's not over yet. A good strategy for subduing kingfish when you get them to the surface is by holding them between your knees. Most of the time I go out, I'm not trying to shoot kingfish and don't shoot kingfish, but it's not every day you get to see ones this size. So I took the opportunity as it came and am extremely grateful for it. This is my biggest kingfish to date and the meat that I got off it was absolutely beautiful. After a quick photo shoot, we decide to get the show on the road before any sharks turn up.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to grab the float boat and I've got the guns? Yeah. See if you can get the cover on. Or fuck, I'll stay this side, you go that side. See if we can just go cover side to side. got it? That'll work. Fuck yeah.
Right on cue, just as we get the fish in the float boat, we have our first shark turn up. This was a decent sized one, nothing crazy, but gotta keep an eye on them. So this clip might look scary, but I'm really in no danger. At this point the shark just wants to work out what we are. So after a quick poke he realizes we're not food and doesn't really give us any more trouble. After swimming a couple 100 meters we finally make it back to the boat, fish and shark in tow, and yeah, good mission.
Yeah, buddy. That was fucking awesome. Yes. It was more awesome because the shark turned up.
As you can see, the weather was just beautiful, barely any clouds, barely any wind, just out there enjoying it, you know. Oh, that's a bit better. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Here we have the same shark from earlier that actually followed us all the way back to the boat. We cut the head off the kingfish and removed the guts just so we can make it fit in our chili bin, and this guy was having a munch on it. Didn't feel threatened at any point, he's just cruising along, takes very little interest in me. Really beautiful just watching these creatures relax in their natural habitat. Most of the time you see a shark, it's going to be with a fish thrashing on the end of your line. It's a real different experience from just seeing them swimming around peacefully. Here's another video of that same shark taken slightly later. It's interesting how he does almost the same thing here, approaching from right to left, following along that kelp line before moving up through the boulders. Thanks for watching this episode, I hope you enjoyed it. We have many more awesome adventures to come, so stay tuned.
About to freeze. Keep dancing with my sanity.